recognised. Senator Hughes.
Mr Deputy President, I mean, it's just a groundhog day. Here we are again, and I know Senator Siewert's left, so someone else has got to start to make their mark. But I mean, this is just getting beyond a joke. But I do know that the Greens love to share stories, so I thought I'd start with a couple of stories of my own. I want to talk about John down in Jervis Bay, who owns a motel, who called me as he was making the beds because he cannot get staff. And one of the reasons he couldn't get staff in rural and regional areas when we had the additional JobSeeker supplements being paid, it was actually more beneficial for people to go lie on the beach rather than work. So all of these businesses that were requiring staff could not get them because they were earning more money or pretty good rate, not having to work, not having to participate in the economy or in the community in any meaningful way. Then we've got, friends of mine up in Moree. I know I was referred to, I think, from Senator McAllister today as the Senator for Sydney, a little bit offensive, after the decade and a half I spent in Moree, cannot get a worker into one of as they prep the cotton gins for a boom harvest of cotton next year, let alone where they are with the current grain harvest. So if we want to talk about opportunities, there is more work available than ever before. The post-pandemic economy is absolutely booming, and there are plenty of jobs at every level of skill. So we don't need to talk about the fact that some of them are highly skilled jobs. There's plenty of jobs across the board. There's plenty of opportunity for people who want to work. And this is the difference between us and those that sit at the far end of the chamber, because we see our social security system as a safety net, something that is there for everyday Australians when they need it, not a living wage, not a substitute for participating in the economy and contributing to this country. The social security safety net that we provide is paid for by taxpayers. So we owe it to every single taxpayer to ensure that not only is the safety net sustainable, that it is viable and accessible to everybody should they need it, that it's not a permanent stop. It's somewhere where we encourage people to do training. We offer job training and courses and resumes and how to dress for an interview. All of those skills are provided because we know the best form of welfare is a job, and it's not just the cash side of it that helps. It's the community engagement. It's the interaction with workers. It's the boost to your own self-esteem and mental health. It's also a fantastic example to show your children, because we do know too many children in this country grow up in a cycle of unemployment that leads to unemployment from generation to generation to generation. And whilst there is a job seeker rate, there are also substantial additional payments on top of that. And never mentioned by the Greens at the end of the chamber. They forget about those. They forget about the rental assistance, forget about the phone assistance. They forget about the FTB Part A, Family Tax Benefit Part A and Part B, that a lot of these families can access. They forget about the pharmaceutical allowance. They forget about the healthcare card. They forget about bulk billing and medical services. All of these things are never mentioned because we just want to talk about one rate and one rate alone. But I'm not going to keep everyone here all night because I do know we've had our hours extended already. But I just wanted to read you out a tweet today from a girlfriend of mine. And she grew up in public housing. And what she tweeted was, "I managed to crawl out of that hellhole of public housing life, work and study since 17, buy a house, have a family, travel the world and even eat in fancy restaurants while doing interesting things for a living." She is an absolutely outstanding example of someone who worked hard to pull herself up and contribute back to this country. Not only does she have herself made a contribution, she has a beautiful son and a gorgeous dog, Scout, and she's contributing into this country in a very significant way. Our social security system is there as a safety net. It is there for all Australians. It is paid for all Australians. Unlike other countries, there's no limit, no time limit. But we encourage Australians to take up the supports that we provide and to look at getting back into the workforce, because that is where they are going to be most happy.